Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and the beautiful spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A furious confrontation for Edge and Carter. On the Monday, December 9th episode of The Intense and the Wonderful, spoilers bother that Carter and Edge battle for control of Forrester manifestations, and neither one of the ones withdraws. Zend is so troubled by the contention that he leaves. Bill proceeds with his encounter with Luna at the jail. Who's playing whom? It's daily crammed with blazing show you should see. Already on BNB. Carter got back to Forrester manifestations, despite the fact that Steffi had terminated him. Ed and Eric were assembled to talk about Carter's unfathomable disloyalty. Then, at that point, things deteriorated. Carter let the Forresters know that he had, as a matter of fact, recorded the LLC desk work with his name as supervisor. Justin showed up and informed them that the papers were legitimate and restricting. There was nothing that he could do. Steffi, Edge, and Eric were startled. How should the family realm fall into Carter's hands? Their previous COO capitalized on his second. Nostrils erupting, Carter announced that he was currently accountable for Forrester manifestations as he had his spot behind the leader work area. You can wager that Edge is shocked, yet will not acknowledge this. Presently, Edge retaliates. It will be a stalwart fight between previous closest companions turned foes. Steffi and Carter will back up Edge, so Carter is dwarfed. When will Trust and Brooke show up? Besides, whose side is Zend on? In the meantime, Bill shocked Luna with a visit to the jail. That was soon after she asked her mother, Poppy, about him. Poppy couldn't pardon Luna for homicide and said she was never escaping prison. Deceived and grief-stricken, Zend leaves Forrester manifestations. Bill is attracted to Luna's letter and visits her in a correctional facility. Carter and Edge clash in a red-hot standoff, with no space for split the difference. Forrester manifestations had been the crown gem of the style world for a really long time, a sparkling domain based on development, family heritage, and tenacious desire. However, as the sun rose on the central command that critical Monday morning, the flicker of accomplishment was eclipsed by the situation unfolding inside its walls. Edge Forrester, the planned legend and patriarch of the line, stepped into the structure with an assurance that transmitted through each fiber of his being. His adversary, and previous compatriot, Carter Walton looked for him, situated behind the work area Edge had consistently viewed as his own. The conflict of titans was inescapable. Carter's ascent to drive had been quick and unforeseen, a disloyalty that stung profoundly. He had gotten back to Forrester manifestations subsequent to being casually terminated by Steffi, the searing and savagely faithful girl of Edge. Nobody had expected Carter's best course of action, recording LLC desk work that named him as the chief of Forrester manifestations, a legitimate move however splendid as it seemed to be merciless. Justin hairstylist, the organization's confided and lawful consultant, had hesitantly affirmed its legitimacy. The room had been dove into stunned quiet as Carter sat down of force, his noses erupting with wind as though trying anybody to challenge his power. Edge, in any case, was not one to withdraw. The treachery via Carter, a man he had once thought to be a sibling, sliced deeply. For Edge, this was not just about business, it was private. As he entered the leader office, his eyes locked onto Carter's with a red-hot power. Steffi and Eric flanked him, their looks a blend of mistrust and equitable displeasure. This was their family's inheritance, and they wouldn't allow it to fall under the control of somebody they presently saw as a gatecrasher. Carter, Edge started, his voice low however accused of scarcely held back wrath, you have crossed a line you can't uncross. Carter reclined in the extravagant cowhide seat, radiating a quiet certainty that simply facilitated madden the Forresters. I've done what I needed to do, Edge. For a really long time I was the reliable fighter, the one everybody depended on, however, never genuinely regarded. Presently, taking's mine. Steffi ventured forward, her voice sharp as an edge. What's yours? Forrester Manifestations doesn't have a place with you, Carter. It's our family's inheritance, worked by hard labor. How might you venture to figure you can just take it? Carter's demeanor solidified. I took nothing, Steffi. I carried on honestly, rules your family educated me. Try not to despise the player, can't stand the game. The unease in the room was overwhelming, and it wasn't well before voices rose and allegations flew. Eric, the patriarch of the Forrester family, attempted to intervene, yet his endeavors were overwhelmed by the blazing trade among Edge and Carter. The workplace turned into a milestone, where steadfastness and desire crashed in a way that took steps to destroy the organization. In the meantime, in a calmer corner of the structure, Zend Forrester Dominguez grappled with his own strife. The youthful originator had consistently worshipped Edge and admired Carter as a tutor. Seeing the two men he regarded most squabbling furiously was pulverizing. Incapable to deal with the strain, settled on a choice that stunned everybody, he left Forrester Manifestations. His takeoff sent swells through the organization, leaving the leftover representatives and relatives addressing where his loyalties genuinely lay. As the show unfurled at Forrester Manifestations, one more subplot stewed behind the scenes. Charge Spencer, the consistently computing news big shot, paid a startling visit to Luna at the jail. Luna, blamed for a wrongdoing she fervently denied, had been battling to find some peace with her imprisonment. Her mom, Poppy, would not excuse her, leaving Luna feeling separated and double-crossed. Bill's visit caused a stir. Would he say he was there to offer help, or did he have his own plan? The baffling extremely rich person seldom acted without an arrangement, and his advantage for Luna's situation alluded to a bigger plan in play. Back at Forrester Manifestations, the fight among Edge and Carter heightened. The two men stood head to head, their voices reverberating through the corridors as they flung allegations and counter-arguments. Edge blamed Carter for double-crossing and veracity, while Carter terminated back, bringing up the pietism of the Forresters, who had consistently positioned family regardless of anything else, until it fit them. I gave this organization everything, Carter yelled, his voice loaded up with a blend of outrage and torment. Also, what did I receive consequently? Scraps. All things considered, not any longer. This is my time, Edge. My chance to hit one out of the ballpark. Edge's face obscured, his clenched hands held at his sides. You think you've won since you recorded some administrative work? This isn't finished, Carter. By no stretch of the imagination. Steffi, ever the tactician, started plotting a method for subverting Carter's freshly discovered power. She realized they couldn't just take the organization back forcibly, they expected to outsmart him lawfully and decisively. With Justin on their side, she was certain they could find a proviso in the desk work that would re-establish the Forrester family's control. As the day wore on, the pressure gave no indications of facilitating. Workers murmured apprehensively in the foyers, uncertain of what was to come held. The once bound together Forrester family appeared to be breaking before their eyes, and nobody knew how, or on the other hand if, it very well may be fixed. The episode finished with a sensational cliffhanger, Edge and Carter, remaining on inverse sides of the chief office, their countenances carved earnestly in wrath. The battlefronts had been laid out, and neither one of the men gave any indications of withdrawing. Forrester Manifestations remained in a critical state, and the aftermath from this wild standoff would have expansive ramifications for all interested parties. Carter Walton's shocking takeover of Forrester Manifestations is the discussion of the workplace. In the wake of recording legitimate LLC administrative work naming himself as the chief, Carter's disloyalty has left Edge, Steffi, and Eric staggering. His venturesome move has made one thing understood: he's at this point not the dedicated COO the Forrester family once trusted. Carter sets his situation, going head-to-head with Edge in a warm to showdown. The previous companion's relationship is presently unavoidably cracked as they trade brutal words and subtle provocations. Edge will not acknowledge Carter's case to power and commitments to retaliate, making way for a no-limits confrontation. Edge Forrester isn't one to withdraw, particularly when the tradition of Forrester manifestations is on the line. With Steffi and Eric close by, Edge starts planning to take the organization back. Be that as it may, will their endeavors be sufficient to outsmart Carter, whose legitimate moving has left them with restricted choices? Expect blazing contentions and profound supplications as Edge digs profound to recover what he accepts is legitimately his. Trapped in the crossfire, Zend Forrester Dominguez ends up attempting to pick a side. His reliability to both Edge and Carter has left him torn, and the pressure ends up being a lot for the youthful planner. Incapable to bear the heaviness of the family's infighting, goes with the stunning choice to leave Forrester manifestations. His flight sends shockwaves through the organization, leaving everybody contemplating whether he'll return, and whose side he'll take assuming he does. In the interim, Bill Spencer proceeds with his strange contribution with Luna, who stays in the slammer. After Luna's mom, Poppy, cruelly proclaimed that she won't ever pardon her little girl for homicide, Luna is left inclination irredeemable. Bill's visit brings up additional issues than replies. Would he say he is there to help, or would he say he is playing a more profound game? The mysterious very rich person's thought processes stay hazy, yet one thing is sure, his activities will have a gradually expanding influence in the days to come. With strains at an untouched high, the destiny of Forrester manifestations remains in a precarious situation. Edge and Carter's confrontation vows to be a pivotal occasion, however the aftermath could have destroying ramifications for all interested parties. Will Edge figure out how to outsmart Carter, or will Carter's intense show of dominance stamp the start of another period at Forrester manifestations? Furthermore, what might be said about Zend, will his flight be extremely durable, or will he get back with another point of view?